'twas down in Mississippi, not so long ago, when a young boy from Chicago town stepped through a southern door.
Emmett Till, a 14-year-old African American from Chicago, stood outside a white-owned grocery store. It was about a week into Emmett's visit to Money, Mississippi. Till had started boasting about his past relationships with white women in Chicago, and interested, Emmett's friends dared him to go into the grocery store and flirt with the cashier. Till was said to have wolf-whistled at Carolyn Bryant, the cashier. Bryant was very angry and went home and fabricated the story to her husband, Roy Bryant. After Roy Bryant had heard the stretched truth from his wife, him and his brother, J.W. Milam, set out to find Till. They dragged him from his uncle Mose Wright's house in Money, Mississippi at 2 a.m. They then took him to Milam's barn, where they beat him with a tire iron, shot him in the head, then took his body in the back of a pickup truck, tied a heavy gin fan around his neck, and dumped him off a cliff into the Tallahatchie River. Milam and Roy hoped that Till would never be found, but little did they know the boy would be found 3 days later. 8 miles downstream, a boy named Robert Hodges, who was fishing in the Tallahatchie River, saw feet sticking out of the water. Till's entire body was bloated, and he had a huge gaping hole in his head. His body was evidence to how Milam and Roy killed him. Later, at the Illinois Central Station in Chicago, 50,000 people gathered to see the gruesome damage that had been done. Mammy Bradley had insisted the coffin to be open so the whole world could see what the murderers had done to her son. Bryant and Milam were on trial for brutally murdering Emmett Till. The jury consisted of 12 white men, thus not giving much hope for the state of Mississippi to win the trial. Unfortunately, after the state and defense had presented their evidence and facts, his murderers were acquitted by an all-white jury in just over an hour. The defense witness provided the jury within reasonable doubt that the body found in the river may or may not have been Till's, this allowing the jury to acquit Milam and Roy of criminal charges. People wanted to help show that the crime Roy and Milam committed was wrong, and a push to have laws put in place to show that color did not define a person's worth began several years later. This case spurred the civil rights movement when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white person. But due to this case, we now live in a more tolerant America, and we can be proud of how far we have come with racism and the civil rights movement for Black Americans.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord